Hey guys, Anthony here with Andreas of Austin Historical Weapons Guild. Today we're talking about Fabris Plate number 41. Plate 41 shows a wound of, again, a second against a fourth, and it's really kind of diving into using that passing step of that back foot to void a line and control, similar to what we had last time, but this time against an opponent who is voiding the center. So, a couple symbol options, straightforward. They kind of build off of each other fairly nicely. So it's, to me, a fairly straightforward, simple play. Easy setup is I've found his sword. I have advantage on his sword, is how Fabris describes it, where, again, my strong is on his weak. My weak is farther away from his strong than mine is, and I have to make him kind of respect the fact that I have an easier time of controlling him than he does of me. In this position, Fabris says I would feint to fourth to kind of make him think right from here. I just lean forward, drive in. I have control of the fight. So he needs to react against that, because otherwise he's in trouble. So as I go to fourth, he would react with a girata, which, done correctly, done in that tempo, if I was attacking, would let him stab. Notice as we're kind of demoing this, we're slightly out of distance because he's assuming that this is not a feint, but I'm stepping in and moving through. So again, setting up my opponent's intention, my opponent, what I'm countering. So we're in third. I have found his blade. I'm on line. He is not. I move to fourth quickly to show my threat, and he thinks that's girata. If I'd stepped in to close that space, I'd be in trouble. He would not be. However, because this is a feint, I've reserved my distance, reserved my footwork. That gives me the time I need to be able to react and take my measure, take my step. So for the play, as I have found his sword, as I make this feint, he reacts. I can then just drop everything, pass with my left foot, and stab him in the kidney. So again, I have found his sword. I go to fourth, and I turn out, drop, voiding everything, and making my attack come through. The follow-up, the kind of secondary option from there is we're starting. I lost it.
It's the cavaziones.
Right, we're starting the outside. Yeah. The follow-up kind of build up from there is he's starting up in guard, and I'm moving to find his sword. As he does this, I again feint into fourth to show control, show intention here, but I'm not driving this attack in. I'm not driving this through. So as I move to fourth, he again performs the girata, which again, if I have attacked, if he doesn't catch my sword even, I'm just missing down that lane. But because I'm not attacked, because I'm showing the intention as a feint instead of a full action, I give me the time to work and react. So again, he's up, finding from the outside. I move to fourth. I then drop, change, and make my wound. A little bit more space. So as you come up to find, fourth, disengage, coming around, really working on dropping the body and the sword together. Some things to kind of keep in mind and make sure you're getting right as you're doing this is really dropping your sword arm to get through. I know, talking personally, I had some work on this, getting stuck, leaving this sword up, not really making this disengage, or just playing out the last play we talked about, leaving it high to cover. This time we're dropping everything to come around, come low, and make a wound below. Other than that, not a whole lot more to dissect from these plays. I feel like they're pretty straightforward. It's really starting to highlight the uses of the feint and the intentions of them and what you can kind of start playing with and working with from there. Instinct tells me that there's a lot more body pressure and body presence to kind of incorporate into the feints that Fabris doesn't give us, at least not directly in the plays, that kind of make these work a little better, sing a little better. Maybe my feint, instead of just being like, look, I'm turning, I'm doing something, maybe I can accentuate those with a little bit of a body lean to show something closing. Not enough that We back up some at distance, right? So not enough that I'm fully committed out of range, which would be a waste of time and effort here, but enough that he sees something coming, but I don't actually commit. And if I do need to commit from here because he hasn't acted, I can kind of just follow through easier and simpler. And kind of using that feint as a starting pull to see if there's a reaction versus just being a really dumb static hand turn and motion from there. Other than that, as I said, should be pretty straightforward, pretty simple. The trick again was just lowering that right arm and then of course making sure you're getting nice and low in that near horizontal position to really void the chest openings. So as always, folks, if there are questions or comments or feedback on these, please comment below, reach out to us, Stoker Weapons Guild on Facebook, at Gmail, anything like that. Otherwise, thanks for watching.